Hey y'all, it's me, Dree. So straight away I'm getting that this message is centered around protection. Not protection through control, but protection through awareness. Because the first thing I'm noticing here is that our emotion cards are telling a complete story before we even look at the tarot. We've got hope, tenderness, serenity. So these cards are telling me that this message is showing us how hope eventually becomes peace. But that is only going to happen after compassion changes the course of something that is happening at the present time. And I'm getting that compassion, that's going to bring y'all serenity, which is that calm inner peace, that things are working out just the way they should. But looking at these emotion cards, it makes me naturally wonder what exactly happened that shifted this entire situation. Because it's something that my collective did for sure. Let's get into the message. We start with this hope emotion. And we've got the Queen of Swords reverse, the Three of Wands, and the Page of Wands. So the very first thing I'm getting is that there's an energy here. And this energy is completely devoid of emotion. This is someone showing up as harsh, critical, and calculated. This is someone who seems to have a very clear agenda. And as I'm talking about this energy, I want to be clear that there are no genders in tarot. So what we are looking at right now is somebody that in their present moment, they are acting, behaving, responding as if they are a wounded, feminine energy. So this could very much be a male who is very wounded and not in his masculine, just as much as it could be a female. So now I forgot what I was saying. This Queen of Wands reverse is someone showing up as having a very clear agenda, right? They're sitting in the emotion of hope. And then this Three of Wands. So immediately I'm noticing that this person is trying to manifest a level up. They're looking at an opportunity for progression, expansion, an outcome that serves them. And when I think back to this oracle, hope, it suddenly takes on a very specific meaning, don't you think? Because I don't think that hope belongs to the collective just yet. I think that the hope is belonging to this Queen of Swords reversed. They are hoping they can influence this situation that they are manifesting in their reality. They're hoping things continue moving in the direction that they want them to. And then the first column ends with this Page of Wands. This Page of Wands enters the picture, and immediately the energy, it has to shift. It has to change. Because the page, this is younger energy. This is less experienced energy. This is energy that still gets excited, is still open, is still curious about life. The words childlike come to mind, and it's like childlike making excited plans. And that points me to communication, good news, fresh ideas, exciting plans. So this, and honestly, this feels like someone who doesn't fully recognize the position they're standing in. At least, not yet. Because if I compare this Queen of Swords reversed to this Page of Wands, I can't help but notice something. The Page of Wands comes with clouded vision, so I'm getting that the Queen of Swords, she's not a wand, she's swords. The Queen of Swords seems to believe that this page is unsuspecting. They believe this page is unaware, operating without seeing the full picture. And if that's true, then this entire first column becomes the hope that this vulnerable energy never realizes what's actually happening, which shifts the reading, don't you think? And I also think this puts the collective into hope if they're watching from the sidelines, because if you were watching this interaction, you'd be hoping to God that somebody let this youthful energy in on exactly what it is that's happening. Right? So we shift into this tenderness, which leads with the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Wands, and the vernal equinox. So yeah, this is where everything changes, because the emotion attached to this column, it's not hope anymore. It's tenderness. And after seeing this, feeling this Page of Wands energy inside of me, like I'm getting that somebody in the field recognizes exactly what I just described. They recognize that this page isn't the energy to exploit here. They recognize that the page's the one that needs consideration. The page needs compassion. The page needs somebody who is willing to step in and exert enforcement. And because somebody recognizes that this Wheel of Fortune lands. And this isn't just a small adjustment. This is a decisive moment. The kind of moment that changes the trajectory completely. This is a real change in destiny kind of energy. And then right after that, this Queen of Wands arrives. And I've got to say that this energy, this center column energy, well, that feels like the collective now, doesn't it? I think so, because look at the contrast. The Queen of Swords is harsh, emotionally detached, calculated. The Queen of Swords reverse is a real bitch, if I'm not gonna say anything else. But the Queen of Wands shows up and they're confident, courageous, visionary, and they are strong. This queen is fully embodying herself. She doesn't need manipulation to influence the outcome. Her presence speaks for itself. And because it does, I'm getting that's why we land on the vernal equinox here, because this is the dark coming to the light. And I don't think this is symbolic anymore. I think something hidden got exposed. Something that relied on remaining unseen gets brought fully into the light. And when that happens, then we see another shift where everything changes again. Because the message ends in this emotion of serenity. And after what the collective just did to expose this, that would certainly bring a feeling of serenity. That would bring a big release of stress and trust within yourself. And then we get to the tarot and the last part of this message. We've got the Ace of Swords reverse, the Star, and Strength. So at first glance, well, this Ace of Swords reverse, it looks like it was supposed to belong to this Page of Wands. Remember that clouded judgment? This card is about missing information, blocked communication. But now we have to remember something, because after this Page of Wands came out, the Wheel of Fortune happened. So the wheel turned. The decisive moment happened. So I don't actually think this energy belongs to the page anymore. I think this timing card redirected it. Because when the collective stepped in, this page I'm getting, they received the awareness they needed before anything could unfold. And that would mean that this Queen of Swords reverse is now the one operating from misinformation, she's the one sitting in clouded judgment. The very position she expected this other person to occupy. That position now becomes her own. And that certainly is a twist of fate, wouldn't you say? But what's more is next comes this star, and this is the collective appearing. This is the collective addressing the elephant in the room. The collective is the guiding light. The collective is the truth. The collective is the thing that illuminated this entire situation for awareness to happen. And then that brings us to the very last card of this message. Strength. This is invisible force. And out of this entire message, I think those two words are the loudest here. Invisible force. Because the collective never had to overpower anyone. The collective, they never had to become harsh. They simply became the quiet influence, the gentle persuasion that changed the trajectory of this entire storyline. And I'm getting that this force that y'all came in with, well, that flipped the script. And that's exactly why this message ends in serenity. That's not because nothing collapsed. That's because the person who needed protection, well, they were no longer standing beneath the house of cards when it collapsed. I'm getting the only person around the house of cards at all, well, that was this Queen of Swords reversed. And isn't that the way it ought to be? Somebody showing up harsh and critical abruptly around vulnerable energy. That makes me think of Little Red Riding Hood and, my grandma, what big teeth you have. Doesn't it? And we all know what that wolf is. He's a predator. And he preys on the little kids by wearing a mask. Think about it. Really think about it. Because the math, it maths any way you spin it. And that's the message that I got for y'all today. So if this one landed, then like my message, leave me a comment and follow along. Send your energy into my channel so I can keep directing the messages straight to you. And remember, where there's love, there's light. I'll see y'all again real soon.